Well, I made it. Here I am at Flat 6 Motorsports in Sanford, Florida, in the north of Orlando. And I'm here with John Swift, the owner of Flat 6 Motorsports, and we're going to look at exhausts today, and probably in the next episode too. So today is all about sound. We're going to bolt on 5 different configurations onto the Silver Dream machine. John's own Silver Dream machine is here too. You can watch the travels and the adventures of that film on his channel. But John, we're going to put on 5 different configurations on this car. Tell us about what we've got in store and what the viewers can expect to see.
Sure, so we'll go over the stock configuration first of the exhaust to show you what that looks like, the systems of it, and then we'll be putting on a muffler bypass system from Top Speed Pro, which is definitely the lightest weight, most aggressive sound you'll hear on this car. We'll then put a 2B style sport muffler system on. Then we're going to put a Fab Speed Max Flow system, which is kind of similar to the 2B sound. And then we'll also add a Fab Speed 200 cell Sport X pipe to see what that sounds like. And then finally, we're going to put a car graphic valved exhaust system on, which will give Jay the option to keep the valves open or closed and give a pretty good dynamic range.
Perfect. So there's a little bit of everything for someone there, or a little bit of something for everyone even there. We're going to educate you as the different component parts of the exhaust, and then we're going to try 5 different configurations. But before we do that, let's slap on the first exhaust. And whilst we're doing that, let's go for a little tour of the shop. John, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So thrilled and looking forward to getting these exhausts on my car. Overly excited, one would say. But otherwise, perhaps let's do a shop tour. Tell us a little bit more about Flat 6 Motorsports.
Yeah, so Flat 6 Motorsports, we're a group of very passionate Porsche enthusiasts here. We started this company a little over 6 years ago and moved down to Florida here about 18 months ago to focus more on our shop studio space here. We have modified, tuned, tracked pretty much every model of Porsche vehicle out there. So everything from Boxsters Caymans, the 911 range, to Cayennes and Macans. So we offer about 90 different product lines. So we like to think of ourselves as a one-stop shop for Porsche performance. We install parts here, we test parts, we make parts, which we'll get to, and just really kind of engulf ourselves in the passion that Porsche for the factory puts out. We like to capture that, harness it, and use it day to day. So we really pride ourselves on service in terms of talking with people to figure out what they're after and meet the goals that they have out of their performance needs.
The exhausts that we're looking at today are all supplied by you, aren't they? So they're not things that we've gone, way off the market to look for. These are things that you can supply to people.
Correct. Yeah, we offer about 20 different product lines of exhaust. So we do everything from kind of a low budget value brand. We have a couple that we offer for customers that are really on a budget or looking for something simple, all the way to the highest quality manufacturers around the globe. So we source from several different countries, and really we have a range of clients, but quality is something at the end of the day that most Porsche enthusiasts are looking for, and so we focus a lot of our efforts around systems that are high quality, sound good, and that we get really good feedback on from customers.
Well, I'm in the right place. Perhaps you could just show us around and show us especially the manufacturing that you do here as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a walk to the back and I'll show you a little more.
Let's do it. So John, we've got some expensive machinery here. What are these machines here?
Yeah, so we have 2 3D printers. We have kind of a more traditional style 3D printer and more industrial style. This traditional style we use to make some accessory type parts. We also use this to build prototypes kind of rather quickly. This is basically a souped up version of a hobbyist machine, but we do use it to make some parts, some nice accessory parts. This here is kind of the flagship of our additive manufacturing capability here. This is a selective laser sintering 3D printer, and what that does is it takes a very, very fine powder that's a composite material, and it uses a really high powered laser to fuse those little powders together.
And here's a good example of something that machine produces with a lovely Flat 6 logo on it. What are we looking at here, John?
Yeah, so this is a jack pad adapter. This is for a 996, so it works on Jay's car and my 996. It works with 997s, 991s, 992s, also the Cayman and Boxster range as well. So this little guy just goes inside the frame, you twist it a little bit, and then it'll stay in place. And then you just use a floor jack to lift the car. What that does is it just protects the inside of that frame so that a jack's not, damaging, pinching anything underneath.
All right, so let's have a look at what we're going to put on my car. And as I said earlier, we're going to start with the ridiculous, which is the muffler deletes. And there's not a lot to see here, really. John, is there?
No, it's a very simple design. This is from Top Speed Pro 1. It's about a $350 part, so very cost effective. A lot of guys like using these on the track because it basically deletes the muffler. It's very loud, sounds great over 5,000 RPM. Jay will give you a little rundown of it, but drops a lot of weight off when you don't have mufflers, and it's off the back of the car, which helps with balance to some degree on the track. Some guys, and I used to do this in a previous 996 I had, where I would just lift the car up in my driveway, swap these on in about 45-50 minutes before I went to the track, and it's a good use. But this is made by Top Speed Pro 1. They're kind of a little more value oriented of a brand, so super cost effective. And it just takes the muffler off right off the X pipe. It'll connect to where the stock X pipe is and get rid of your muffler.
So then on to the next one. What have we got here, John?
So this is a tubey style muffler. This is considered kind of a sport muffler, which is kind of like an OEM plus sound. So something Jay will probably be interested in here. These are made in Italy. Tubey style has been making exhausts for a long period of time. They're more known in the Ferrari space, but they make great Porsche exhaust, high quality manufacturer, and provide really good sounds.
Now then, Fab Speed. We've gone a little bit deeper here with the Fab Speed products, haven't we, John?
Yeah, so this is a Max Flow system, which is a similar sports style muffler. They also offer what they call a Super Cup, which is just 2 resonators. It's a little more aggressive. Max Flow is a good, nice balanced sound, kind of a OEM plus sound. These are their mufflers. They're made in the United States out of T304 stainless steel. So everything here is high quality stainless steel. I'll show you on this. We also opted on this to have some black satin tips, which look really nice, but they can be reused with the OEM tips. And then we want to step further on this exhaust system with their Sport X pipe. So this can also be had in 2 configurations. It can be, you get this X pipe, it gets rid of the crossover pipe, and you can either arm it with 200 cell HJS cat, which they call their sport system, or they have a cat bypass system, which essentially is just a straight pipe off of here. Pretty much the same architecture. This is usually good for about 15 horsepower or so, so it actually adds some performance as well with this X pipe, and also enhances the sound quite a bit.
Now, finally, something for us more OEM plus kind of guys, right, John?
Yeah, so this is the car graphic valve muffler, and essentially is a similar sport muffler design, but it has a bypass inside, so it uses a valve. And it comes with a remote that you can open or close that valve. So with it closed, it's fairly similar to OEM, a little bit louder, but fairly similar. And then when you open it up, it gives you a very nice aggressive tone as it bypasses the baffling inside. So it's a little more of a straight through design with the valve open. So it kind of gives a wide range of sounds, which is why these are pretty popular.
So whilst we've been talking about those exhausts, look what's happened to the Silver Dream machine. It's lost its back end. Well, let's have a look at the standard exhaust and give you an education on the different parts of it. John, perhaps you'd be good enough to take us on a journey from the engine to the tailpipes and show us which ones are the ones that produce better sound and better power and that kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, so to start with the engine, this is a 3.6 liter flat 6 that's in the 996, produces 320 horsepower, so a pretty good power number out of a naturally aspirated car for its day. Out of the exhaust banks are the headers. They just kind of have a simple 3-in-1 design here. There are aftermarket solutions available that have a slightly larger diameter tubing and a more efficient merge collector. They don't have a significant amount of power, but some guys that like to do a full exhaust will go ahead and do everything back. So the headers connect into the cats, and this is a crossover pipe design. So it runs into I believe it's an 800 cell cat from the factory, a very restrictive part. Porsche obviously has global emission standards that they have to homologate through their manufacturing process. So these aren't race cars. They have to do some things that they probably wish they didn't have to do from a power standpoint, but these rob power. There are some solutions on the market. Most of them are X pipes, which merge the exhaust flow, which makes it a little more efficient for excavating the exhaust out at a faster rate, making power, and usually good for about 10 to 15 horsepower. with a 200 cell cat or a cat bypass. Now that exhaust flow, when it comes out of the cat, goes up into the muffler. So this muffler sits on the side of the 996. It goes up through a series of baffles, has some packing in there to make it a nice, quiet daily driving experience that Porsche customers in the early 2000s were looking for. And then it just comes out through this exit into the tailpipe, and there goes your exhaust flow. So it's most common for 996 owners are just looking for a little more sound, which tends to be the majority of the market, is usually replacing these mufflers with a sport muffler that just kind of reduces some of the packing and baffling inside to make a more aggressive exhaust note without going too far into it.
And that's what we're going to be doing initially, right? We're taking off those mufflers and deleting them.
Yeah, so we're going to go big first and see how Jay likes it.
Yeah, we're going to go mental first, I think. All right, thanks, John. So my aim in all of this is not to build a GT3 out of a Carrera. That might be somebody's aims, and that's why we've included muffler deletes and that kind of thing. But for me, I'm a bit of an OEM plus kind of guy. And therefore, and as my car is a Tiptronic, it's also my daily driver. I don't do very many miles a year, 6,000 miles a year or something. But there are times when I want to go out and be a hooligan, and there are times also when I just want to use it as my stylish way of travelling around. So I'm really intrigued by what's coming next, particularly the muffler delete, but also some of the more exotic fab speed and tubey items. And of course that car graphic, that has got me really thinking. So first step is muffler delete. Let's see what this sounds like. And as if by magic, look, the mufflers have gone, replaced with the top speed muffler delete kit. Pretty straightforward setup. Just bolted in there, look. So I cannot wait to get this baby down and do a cold start, muffler delete 996. So let's see what that sounds like. But first, the benchmark test. This is the Silver Dream machine from the past with all its standard exhaust components on it. We'll be doing cold starts, revving to 2000 and staying there, then 4000, then just some revving, and then we'll be doing our drive-by tests. So take a listen to this. Okay, so here is our benchmark test. This is the standard exhaust on the 996. It's not a sports exhaust, and as you would expect for an OEM exhaust, there's no drone at all. You can hear I'm just pootling along at 40 miles an hour. Can't hear anything. If I go up a gear, oh, you can't hear anything, and then kick down. It's a nice sound. It's very smooth. But you know what, I think we can get a bit better sound than that without, ruining everything and annoying my neighbours. So let's see where we go. Docile. Oh yeah.